probably thinking, why am I doing this from my living room? Well, from the seat belt you can tell that I'm not. I am in the back seat of the car. Back seat of the world luxury car of the year 2014. Yep, this is the S-class. Now, why I'm testing this version is because it has a new power plant. This comes with the 3-litre V6 diesel. This is the S350 CDI. So, I've got to hop into the front seat soon and talk about that. But before I do, let's take a look at what's different between the S500 and this version. The super luxury seats of the S500 are toned down a few notches. There's only a rear camera instead of the 360-degree setup. The wood trim is missing from the steering wheel. The 18-inch alloy wheels are different. The boot lid isn't power operated. There's no night vision system. And the Burmeister hi-fi system is minus a few speakers. Still, the quality of sound is one of the best I've heard in any luxury car. So the things that are missing will hardly make a difference to the backseat passenger. Well, as you can see, it has all the meat and potatoes. It's got all the luxury trappings that you want. I can still stretch out and recline and sit like I'm in a first-class cabin. It doesn't recline as much as it does in the S500, but I have no reason to complain. I'm really comfortable. I also have the entertainment system. Basically, all the bells and whistles that you want. In fact, I think this rear seat is a little more practical. You don't get the same individual electric seats as the S500, but it's a bench, and if you lift the armrest, you can even fit in a third passenger quite comfortably. And the 77 mm of extra legroom you get when the passenger seat slides forward is enough for the tallest. But the leg rest that stretches out falls short for shorter people like me, and I had to really slide down in my seat to access it. The seats themselves are ultra comfy, and you can be in them for the longest of journeys. And it's not only about the features, even the ride quality keeps you extremely comfortable. It just cuts out the imperfections so well that if I wasn't looking out the window, it'd be hard to tell that I was actually on Indian roads. The airmatic suspension and the long wheelbase make this car feel like Aladdin's carpet, most of the time gliding over all kinds of surfaces. It's only really deep potholes and some road noise on coarser surfaces that filters through to the cabin. But that's being super critical. There are two settings for the airmatic suspension, comfort and sport. Comfort makes it really cushy but can end up feeling too soft, especially when you go over rumblers, where you get a fair bit of movement. And as a result, the car even bottoms out when you go over the end of a rumbler. It does get better in sport, but you still have the movement because the car has been raised for the Indian market. However, this ride quality is still quite exceptional. Well, I have to give up the rest and relaxation for a bit now and test the biggest change, which is under the hood. As I said before, this comes with a 3-litre V6 diesel that churns out 255 bhp and 63.2 kgm of torque. Now, if you're sitting in that back seat comfortably and you ask the driver to step on it, be a little careful because it's a punchy engine, it's quick, but it masks the power so well, it does it in a very graceful, linear manner that often you won't know how quick he's going. And there's a nice surge of power that comes in after the 2000 RPM mark. You can ride that wave of torque all the way to the red line. Now, despite being a diesel, the engine is really smooth and barely audible. It's only if you switch off the AC and the magnificent sound system and floor the throttle that you will hear some sound filter through. And even then, it's just some. For most part, inside the cabin, it's really like the whole world is at a distance. The S-Class impresses overall, and the only letdown really is the 7G-tronic gearbox. It doesn't react quite as quick as you want it in most situations. There are two modes you can use to drive it in, Sport and Eco. Eco is more for your leisurely comfort, driving around in the city or even cruising down a highway. But if you want a little bit more of action, you have to put it into Sport, where everything becomes quicker. The shifts, the response, and even the steering tightens up a bit. Of course, the paddles are always handy. And whilst I'm on the interiors, I have to say I still love the clarity offered up by those LED dials. Well, when we drove the S500, we came away impressed, and the S350 is still impressive. This engine has more than adequate power. It's still fun to be behind the wheel of this one. And of course, there's the fact that you'll be burning a whole load less of fuel. Well, there are a few features that are missing, but if you're the owner and you're going to be sitting in the back seat, let's face it, you're just not going to miss any of them at all. So to sum it up, what you're getting is the car that's been voted the world's best luxury car at better value.